These are some of the top lessons that I've learned throughout multiple years of helping life insurance agents scale to massive recruiting months. This is also the most biggest lessons that I've learned in business at 24 years old. I came from a 9-to-5 background. I came from 0 entrepreneurs in my family. And the purpose of this video is just to share with you some of the biggest insights that I've learned by failure and adversity and just experiencing so many different archetypes in the insurance space, all the ways from brand new agents, all the ways up to top producers, millionaires, people with 4,000 people on their downline. This is some of the best pieces of wisdom that I've gained. Number one is the power of becoming before achieving. A lot of times in life, we want to just get to the end result. We want to get to the goal. We want to have the thing in life that maybe we've just set our goal upon. Maybe that number is, 100 directs in a single month, or maybe it's reaching a certain revenue milestone in a year or in a month or whatever that might be. The biggest thing I've learned is a lot of people will never actually get to that success because they don't understand the fundamental of becoming the person they need to be in order to actually earn that money. And the business will never outgrow your habits. The business will also never outgrow your mindset. It will never outgrow your beliefs or anything like that. So the biggest takeaway that you can take from this is becoming the person you must be in order to achieve that kind of money or help that much people. Especially in recruiting, one thing that I've noticed when we're bringing on people to our downline, it shouldn't just be looked at as like some number. It should be looked at as something that is an honor. It should be looked at as something that, wow, I get to lead this many people to potentially achieve financial success. And when we frame it that way and we realize that in order to steward 30 people per month or 50 people per month or 100 people per month or whatever it might be into our agency, that's actually a massive responsibility. It's not just a number. And a lot of agents and a lot of entrepreneurs just look at metrics and they look at data, but they forget the whole consensus that you're actually changing lives. You're actually stewarding people. There's a spiritual power behind that. And so with that comes great responsibility. Work on your mindset, work on your beliefs, challenge yourself every day to get uncomfortable by doing one thing that you've never done before. I remember when I first started running ads, I was so deathly afraid to put my own money, my hard-earned money into, something on the internet that had no guarantee if I was going to make money back. And I realized that the biggest people in this space were running ads to generate their revenue, to generate consistent results. And so I was sold on the belief. However, there was so much fear in my body that wasn't allowing me to, with faith, put that money down and try to acquire more customers and give myself the opportunity to learn how to leverage these platforms. So I decided to get uncomfortable and just consistently put money in the platform and help people put money in this platform and get results and fail and fall headfirst. And because of that, within less than a year, I've been able to scale my own business and help so many other agents do the same because I am so now desensitized to spending on these platforms. And so depending on what your risk tolerance is, you might need to undo some more things, but give yourself the opportunity to go out and fail, go out and learn, go out and lose some money, go out and make some bad hires. It's okay. It's all part of the plan for your life. Number 2 is the law of detachment. So the law of detachment in, this context here is, I'll give you an example. So I remember, when I first started my marketing agency and I first started my business and I started to learn how to leverage these advertising platforms, I remember I had found one proven way to get recruits and it was just working. And I could have gotten so comfortable with that actually, was going to be the thing that created my entire business, years and years and years ahead from that. However, things change. Algorithms change, platform updates change, the way you spend money to acquire customers change, the market and this whole world, the economy is changing. And so as an entrepreneur, if you're not able to quickly detach from certain comfortable things that have gotten you certain successes, you might become obsolete. One of the best examples that I use is, the Blockbuster example. Out here in the United States, we had a company back in the day called Blockbuster. And Blockbuster was this really big company that when you would walk in the store, they would sell DVDs, video games, and it was all in the case. So it was like a physical copy that you would go and you'd purchase these things. And then I remember Netflix became a thing. And everyone knows what Netflix is, right? When Netflix became a thing, it just added more convenience to the market. And so people started saying, I don't need to drive to Redbox or Netflix anymore to go acquire my DVD, right? I can literally from the comfort of my own home, click a button and literally send my money to the internet and purchase something that I can then consume. And so what Blockbuster failed to do is adapt. What Blockbuster failed to do is remain relevant to the market. And so you want to be able to detach from things that, maybe they are working for you right now. Maybe you have a strategy in your business that's crushing for you. It's bringing you loads of money. It's bringing you loads of success, but never get too comfortable on things, right? And you have to have the ability to quickly let go of something. Maybe you have an employee in your business that's no longer performing and they're your friend and you built good rapport with them for multiple years, and they start declining, and you're noticing, that they're consistently declining. And even after you're talking to them, they're not getting results and they're not doing what they need to be doing. You need to be able to detach from that person. And if you fail to detach, what's going to happen is you're actually not going to get as much success as you deserve. That person is going to bottleneck you. That system is going to bottleneck you. And so you must have that ability in your brain to say, I snap out of it. I'm going to detach from this. I've made my decision. It's time to pivot. It's time to move over to this next thing. Number 3 is clean leadership always wins. Clean leadership. What is that? Well, in my opinion, clean leadership is, as a founder or as a CEO or as somebody that's running a business, you have to lead your business with full integrity. And what's very common, I would say about 80% of businesses, just based off of, what's really true, is a lot of them don't truly lead with integrity. And I can see why, right? When you scale a business without full integrity, meaning, you're being honest, you're being transparent about results, and you're not lying or trying to get around certain people to hard sell people into something that really won't help them out, right? A good integrity-focused business is also, just to define that for you, it's a business that's transparent with the consumers. It's a business that leads with integrity, and you're not going to diagnose somebody with your product if you feel like it's genuinely not going to help them out, just to make a quick buck out of them, right? So what I mean by that is there's so many businesses out in the market that don't lead with integrity. They're just trying to get the next dollar. They're trying to get the next retainer. They're trying to get the next recruit. They're trying to get the next insurance policy. They're trying to get the next commission paid out, right? And so with that kind of a mindset, yes, you do make money in the beginning, but you're not going to have longevity. There's only a matter of time before your leadership as a founder, because you as a founder, you as a CEO, you as an agent, whatever you are watching this, it is in your responsibility and extreme ownership to say, hey, how do I want to lead my business? How do I want to do things in this culture? And you set the tone and the pace for everyone else that's looking up to you, that you bring onto your team, that you recruit, etc. And clean leadership always wins. I've helped so many agency owners make all kinds of money and literally just do so much with their businesses in terms of just influx and bringing in recruits and stuff. And the biggest thing I've learned is, it's one thing to bring in talent. It's one thing to close tons of deals, but it's another thing when you can retain those people and keep them happy. If you're just closing people just to close them, if you're just recruiting just to recruit, you are not going to make it far. And you're going to have a business that ultimately is going to bite you in your butt, whether it be 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. You don't want to do that. Start your business with the right principles, with transparency and the right foundation. And I promise you, it might take you a little bit longer to get to where you want to go financially, but it'll have longevity and you will outpace and outrun all the other people that are just trying to get rich quick. The next top lesson that I've learned is your relationship with money will determine the success of your business. A lot of people have very bad relationships with money. I know I did. When I first started entrepreneurship, I had a lot of scarcity. There was so many lack of belief that I had in myself as a man when I started acquiring customers and money, etc. And so I used to hoard all my capital. Anytime I would close a deal, I would just store it like a storehouse, like a barn. I would just throw all the money in there, and then I just wouldn't use it for anything. I wouldn't reinvest. I would just keep it there. I wouldn't buy anything. I wouldn't take myself out and celebrate. It's got to this point where I literally was like, what am I doing right now? Like, I'm making money. I'm doing all these things, but what is the point if I'm not willing to reinvest or throw it back into the market? The thing I learned in business is that your ability to reinvest and throw back into the pot will determine how much more successful you become. And if you have a poor relationship with money and you're afraid of losing it all the time, or you just want to grab it and hold on to it, and you don't want to release it back to the market, you are going to be a bottleneck into your own business. You're not going to grow that fast. Now, I don't know what your goals are as you're watching this video. Your goal might be to reach $1 million a year in your business. Your goal might be hey, I just want to make $200K a year. I don't really want a team. I just want to make money and I'm happy with that lifestyle, right? And that's totally fine. Whatever your goal is, as long as you have a healthy relationship with money, that's your version of success, and there's nothing wrong with that. My vision has always been massive. I've always wanted to reach millions of people, and I'm very faith-driven. I felt like God told me ever since I was younger that was my mission, is to help transform lives around the world and just break off limiting beliefs and help people grow and scale. And so with that kind of a calling and that belief that I've had in myself, I know that I had to, at a certain point in my life, develop a healthy relationship with money. And so by not just learning books, but by actually challenging the subconscious beliefs that I had around money, I was able to overcome a lot of the scarcity in my mind. And it's still something that I face today, to be fair. I still seek help, and I still seek ways where I can improve the ways to increase my, relationship with money. But if you just always have a bad relationship with money, you're not going to spend it. You're not going to reinvest it. You're going to hoard it, and you're just not going to grow. You're going to cap yourself out. The fuel to your business is literally reinvesting into your business, is being willing to spend on your business. It is an investment, and that's how you need to see it. The more you throw in the pot, the more potential you have to grow faster, bigger, and reach more people. The next business lesson is guarantees are a joke. What do I mean by that? Well, I remember when I first started my business and I hired a coach back in the day, and I'll never forget when I was trying to frame like this guarantee around my offer. I saw all my competitors on the internet doing it. They would say, oh, I guarantee you'll receive X clients in X days, or you don't pay. Or you'll see like these advertisings on the internet where people will be like, oh, I guarantee you'll receive X in X time frame, or we'll pay your ad spend for you. Like, there's so many bold guarantees and claims on the internet. And what I've learned now being in this space for as much time as I have been is you need to be very weary of those claims. There is no guarantee in your success. There is no guarantee in business. There is no guarantee that when you put money in a Facebook platform or a advertising platform of your choice that you're going to make your money back. And I don't think there's really much explaining I need to do on that. You could get struck by lightning next week and just completely become obliterated, and you could have paid that person out and now you're not getting results. There is simply no guarantee in this world, and companies that offer guarantees, you need to read the fine print inside of their contract, because they'll usually say, yeah, you can achieve X, Y, and Z as long as you're doing this, as long as you're doing this, and as long as you're doing that. And so to be fair, there's nothing wrong with businesses that offer guarantees, but anytime now that somebody joins, let's just say my calls or anything like that, because I offer marketing services to insurance agents, the thing that I tell them right off the bat is anytime I hear that word guarantee pop up, like, oh, Dylan, is there a guarantee? Or if I do this, is there a guarantee? And the answer is no. I say it very transparently that we don't guarantee that you will win at all. I don't guarantee that you'll make your money back. I don't guarantee that you'll see results. I just don't guarantee it. And actually what that does is it is going to tell that person right there, okay, am I willing to take the gamble here and bet on this company and bet on myself, or am I not willing to do that? And by being transparent with people, let's just say you're an insurance agent watching this, when you're bringing on recruits to your downline, you don't want to guarantee them success. You want to tell them straight up, this is a real business model. If you really want to get to 20K, 30K a month, you need to put the work in. And they might leave, to be frank. They might leave and they might get off that call and not work with you, but good, because they were going to leave anyways. Remember that. Anybody that's asking for a guarantee that is trying to get sold on a guarantee is actually not a good quality client, because they think that guarantees are a real thing and they're not. Okay. And any smart person, any business owner that's been in this space long enough understands that there's no such thing as guaranteed ROI. That is ridiculous. And that's exactly why these Facebook platforms and probably your compliance and your IMO strictly says, do not promise or guarantee that they will get results, because you'll get in trouble for that. It's a lie. It's a facade. There are no guarantees. And that's another big lesson that I've learned when I first started out, is I used to offer guarantees and I tried to do my best to sell to these insurance agents, but it would just always attract me lower quality candidates. Therefore, we stopped offering it. The next lesson that I learned in business and scaling is extreme ownership is essential. In business, you have to have the quality as a CEO and a founder to have extreme ownership. And this is actually a principle that I want to give credit to Jocko Willink. He's, a former Navy SEAL, just this really bad dude on the internet. Very tough individual. He preaches all about mindset, and he actually taught me this principle called extreme ownership. This is where everything is your fault. There's no such thing as something that is not your fault, and a lot of people fail to do that. A lot of people fail to look themselves in the mirror when something goes wrong in their business, or there's a bad hire, or your Facebook ads didn't make you money, or none of the calls that are showing up to your interviews or to your sales calls are converting into cash. A lot of people fail to look themselves in the mirror because it's uncomfortable to do so. But the best thing you can do as a founder, and actually not the best thing, it's an essential thing, is to have extreme ownership in everything you do. All the good things, you want to own those. All the wins that you've got, you want to own those. But guess what? That also means as a founder, you must own all the bad things, all the mistakes. Even if it was your employee that made a bad mistake, guess what? That's your fault because you didn't properly train that person, or you did not fire that person in time. And so if you can adapt a quality of extreme ownership, believe me, it's going to serve you dividends as a business owner and as a market leader. The last lesson I want to talk about is your circle dictates your success. And if you don't have anybody in your circle that is over exceeding you or pushing you to be better, you're better off being alone. With that being said, you have to understand that the people in your circle, the people in your culture, the people that you show up to work with, the people that you show up in a physical location to grow your business with is highly going to dictate how successful you become. If you're hanging around people that that thinks small, you are going to be another person that thinks small. And even if you do try to think big, you're still going to have all the energy around you of small thinkers. You should never be the biggest person in the room. You should be the smallest person in the room at all times and trying to increase the frequency of your mindset. Environment also plays a big role, not just human beings, but actual environments. Every time I'm going to, really do something big or I want to make a big key decision, I always go out here to San Diego in a spot called Del Mar. Del Mar is super beautiful. If you're not familiar with out here in San Diego, Del Mar, California is a very high energy location. If you ever decide to travel to San Diego, I recommend you go to Del Mar. It's, there's the waves, there's the ocean, the water is just crystal clear blue. There's so much wealth all around you. There's so many nice cars. There's just so much high energy. Everybody is positive from my experience every time I go. And so that's naturally a high energy location. And with that kind of a frequency, I've found in my own life that that's helped me become very successful because I understand the power of environment. I understand the power of frequency and maintaining, good subconscious patterns within my mind that allow me to think bigger. Okay. When I'm, sitting next to an individual that's making quadruple what I'm making in a month, that is inspiring to me. I don't get jealous at that. I get inspired by that and say, wow, I'm going to be on his level one day. And look at the way he moves and look at the way he dresses and look at the way he operates and how professional he is. See, these are bolt-ons that you can grab to become a bigger person. But now imagine if you have the opposite of that. Imagine you're just hanging around losers all day long that aren't doing anything with their life, that aren't pushing the standard, that are just staying complacent where they're at. You're going to become the next one. And so you're better off being alone if you don't have high achievers around you. If you're a high achiever yourself, you should definitely not being around people that are lower identity than you or trying to stickle you back. And so your ability to be very selective of who you allow in your inner circle is going to allow you to grow at rapid paces. Now, these are just some of the few top lessons I've learned. I decided to switch up the content today and just share a little bit of wisdom to kind of switch up the content. If you guys don't know who my name is Dylan Saldivar, and all I do is help life insurance agents scale using social media and paid advertising. I hope this video was very helpful. If you want to inquire working with our team, there's a link down below. You can click it and apply to see if you work with us. Again, we don't guarantee results that when you work with us, anything will change in your business whatsoever, but we have been able to help a lot of people scale using cold marketing mechanisms. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.